So recently there's been the Better Health fiasco going on, and kitten. And basically, this is a service or app that's basically therapy that a lot of YouTubers have been promoting, like a lot. And a lot of really notable, well-known ones at that. And it's recently come out that people have looked into the terms of service and the customer reviews, and they're not good. The terms of service, mostly, it just has really shitty wording, which in some spots has now been replaced. This could be because they are trying to reword it, or it could be because they're just doing a complete overhaul, or they're just trying to remove the offensive or offending stuff. So it could either be a good thing or it could be really shoddy. Now, from the get-go, I think the Better Health thing was just not a good idea, because it's a therapy service that isn't really therapy. You're getting it from someone that you don't know for sure is a therapist, you don't know for sure is properly educated and has all their proper requirements to, be a therapist, and you're getting a therapist from this random person that you got matched with via an app. And really, as far as I'm concerned, go to an actual therapist first. And then one of the things is there's a free trial with this, but immediately after your free trial's over, you immediately get charged like $200 or something for each month, kind of a thing. And that's just shitty, but most places that do free trials will do it that way, where you'll immediately get charged once the free trial's over. Most places do it that way, so that's not really anything of note. That's not really anything unique or special or different about this particular app. It's still shitty. And at the same time, it's like, it claims it'll save you money on therapy, but really you have to go to an actual therapist, and this is just an extra thing, so it doesn't actually save you money at all. And I'd say just go to a regular therapist at all. And there's some people who've been complaining that you go through like 3 or 4 or 5 different therapists on this app. And I don't know why people are complaining about that, because that's not really weird. Most people do not find their perfect therapist match with their first or second therapist. Most people go through at least 3 to 4. And that's with regular therapy, regular therapists, not an app. Hi. 2 kittens. So that's not really something to complain too much about. The biggest problem is their terms of services, honestly. Because it's just, their terms of services literally says we cannot verify that these people are proper therapists. Now, from what Philip DeFranco has contacted them with, they say that they do indeed confirm that they are actual therapists, but this has yet to be completely proven by reporters or the company themselves. If that gets proven, then hooray for them, but you're still better off seeing actual therapists rather than going through this app. And there's also been some pay concerns for the therapists with this app, that they're not getting paid a whole lot of money compared to what they would regularly get paid. And if that is the case, then reputable therapists who have good clientele aren't going to use this app anyway. They're not going to provide their services over this app, which means that even if they are therapists that are verified, they're not the good ones that are getting a lot of patients. So you're still better off going with a real therapist out at their actual business practice rather than through some app. And there's the simple problem of the fact that no matter what this app does, it's going to inherently come off as predatory towards anybody with mental illnesses, because that's what happens whenever you make anything or do any project that's targeted at mental health. And it doesn't help that it further gets promoted, this app gets promoted alongside videos that are about mental health or meditation or any kind of video that has to do with suicide, cutting, etc. That just makes it seem even more predatory, even if that's kind of where you want to be talking about those sorts of things. It's far better for someone to promote a helpline, like an actual set-up, verified helpline, or to go see an actual therapist over using this BetterHelp thing. And then there's been the whole debacle of the people who are partnered, I guess, or sponsored by BetterHelp. They get paid money for each person who actually signs up for this program. They get like $200 per person or something. That lends further to the whole predatory thing, because then it immediately makes it seem like the YouTuber who is promoting this service is basically just preying on their subscribers who are mentally unwell. And it really shouldn't be that way. It would be far better for them to use like a discount code for your second month or something. Them getting like $200 for every person who signs up. It kind of forces the YouTuber to try and intentionally prey on their subscribers, because they won't get anything out of the sponsorship unless somebody signs up for this thing. And the only way someone's going to sign up for this thing is if they have a mental health problem. So, unfortunately, it kind of forces the YouTubers themselves to be predatory about it. Now, most decent YouTubers, like Philip DeFranco again, are not going to do the whole predatory crap, but large YouTubers like that don't need to, because they have such a large base, and it's guaranteed that some of their people are going to be mentally unwell. It's a guarantee. There's no way you're going to have millions of subscribers and all of them be completely mentally healthy. So even if they're not trying to be predatory, they're still going to be predatory. Please don't. Please don't, Megu. Please don't jump on that. She sees me moving around on the screen and is like, oh my god. But anyway, so no matter what, it's going to be predatory in nature, and there was no way around that right from the get-go of creating this app. So that was going to be a problem no matter what. And personally, if an app like this came to me, I probably would not be willing to sponsor them, just simply because I am someone who is educated in psychology, and this kind of an app, no matter what, is going to come off as predatory. And as someone who's educated in psychology, I'm always going to say, go to an actually licensed therapist, not an app. Sure, this app could be used as an extra to get extra help if you're successful with actually finding somebody on this app, but it should not be used in place of a therapist. And their terms of services actually says this. But then it also claims that it'll save you money on a therapist, which is very confusing wording, and hopefully that does change, because really this app is nothing more than additional services to getting therapy. I could see another way of it being used as a foot in the door towards therapy. Like, say you've got somebody who is uncomfortable with actually going to an actual therapist, and they use this app to kind of get therapy first and then feel comfortable going to a full therapist. I could see it being used successfully in that manner, but that is not how this app is being promoted. It is not being promoted to be used as an entry or a gateway into actual full therapy. It's being used as something that you could either use in place or with, and most of the people promoting it, most YouTubers promoting it, do appear to be promoting it in a way where you can use it in replace of therapy, and that's part of the problem with this app. And obviously, I do not use this app. I'm never going to, and I'm not going to promote this app. There's too much of a chance of it being predatory and too much of a chance of it just not working out very well. And unfortunately, that was always going to be the way it was going to be with this particular app. And when I first saw people sponsoring it, or getting sponsored by it, I guess, promoting it, I was questionable of it. Yeah. I didn't really trust it. So there's that little bit that's just... And I personally wouldn't recommend using the app, honestly. If you want to use it as a doorway or an additional to therapy, good for you. But otherwise, don't use it in place of therapy. It's just not a good idea. And overall, for the YouTubers promoting it, I'd say, for now, definitely stop promoting it, which is what people like Philip DeFranco have done. I say Philip DeFranco a lot because he's the one I've seen talking about it the most besides Drama Alert, and Drama Alert is not partnered with them. So for now, I'd say stop promoting it until either the terms of services change or more comes to light, either through reporters or their actual channels through the app. And anyone who keeps promoting it right now, I think you're just being a really shitty person, and you're not going to do your subscriber count any good. If anything, the whole debacle is just going to hurt your channel, whether you're currently showing off this app or you used to, because we've seen that especially again with Philip DeFranco, where he's taken a hit. And I definitely don't think you should be going and harassing YouTubers who were sponsored by BetterHelp, or were thinking about getting sponsored by BetterHelp, or even currently sponsored by BetterHelp. I definitely don't think you should be like going and shitting on them, because chances are most of them were completely unaware of the not so great terms of services, which not the greatest business practice. You should probably look into what you're supporting before you support it, or sponsor it, or promote it, or anything like that. But, oh well. So I wouldn't go and harass those YouTubers, and I wouldn't go and harass BetterHelp themselves either. If I would just wait for reporters and whatnot to come out with what they find. So, the BetterHelp debacle is a bunch of bullshit. Oh, and this is not good for YouTube as a whole, because this kind of turns into the whole adpocalypse bullshit again, because now it makes it look like the people who are supporting YouTubers are not good companies, and that will make good companies want to stay away from YouTubers even more. So if this comes into mainstream media, this could be really, really bad for YouTube as a whole, because so many big YouTubers are tied to BetterHelp with promotion and everything else. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I don't want it to be even more difficult to make money on this site. It's already pretty much impossible for people like me. So, yeah. I just wanted to add some shit on because of Drama Alert. Phil did a full video on this shit, and Drama Alert has decided to label it as a defense video, which isn't really accurate. Phil's video falls into the realm of being objective, but from the point of view of someone heavily involved in the crisis. I'd far prefer someone who promoted this app do what Phil is doing, try to figure out shit and be objective, rather than what many are doing, not saying anything, or being completely unaware, or being ill-informed. And with fucking Drum Alert, it's like, just because someone isn't attacking doesn't mean they are defending. There's a fucking middle ground. You can be in the middle, regardless of whether you promoted this app or not originally. And yeah, sure, most people are going to reasonably just kind of try to stay the fuck out of it, because it's drama. You don't want Drama Alert or whatever dragging you through the mud and making you look like shit. That's kind of understandable. Most people would rather not be on Drama Alert for anything negative. Because as I said earlier, this is hurting Philip DeFranco, and a large part is because he is actually talking about it, and he's actually trying to figure shit out. And the thing is Philip DeFranco probably knows more than anybody else does, because he has such an important role compared to other promoters and whatnot with this company, because he did the whole thing where he kind of did a bit of a deal with them, where he helped them get other people to promote their app. So they care more about maintaining him as one of their publics than they do other YouTubers, which cats than they do about maintaining other publics. Because basically Philip DeFranco is currently, besides their own employees and anyone who's got a share in their stock and whatnot, Philip DeFranco is pretty much one of their most important publics, so they're going to want to communicate with him as much as they think they can. Not doing so would cause them to risk losing him, and that would be a massive blow to them. So they're going to want to keep Philip DeFranco informed. They're going to want to meet Philip DeFranco's demands, because that's how they maintain him and how they build up trust with him again. Because I guarantee you, by him not promoting them right now, it's probably hurting them a fuck ton. This whole debacle's hurting them a fuck ton, but him alone just stopped from promoting them. Even if no one else stopped promoting them, that would hurt them a lot, because Philip DeFranco's such a big YouTuber, and because he does so much networking for them. So they want to try and have that good relationship with him again. So they're going to tell him stuff. They're not going to tell this shit to people like Drama Alert. They're not going to. Just simply because, well, Drama Alert is not someone that promotes them. And he's on the realm of attack, purely. He's not all that interested in what BetterHelp does to fix this. He's not really interested in how BetterHelp tries to improve things or completely fix the entire situation. He's not interested in that. Whereas Philip DeFranco is. So they're not going to be all that interested in communicating with Drama Alert, but Drama Alert has their ways of getting information from just about anywhere. Holy crap. Guys! My cats are trying to murder everything. You were going to actually knock my laptop off. So Philip DeFranco, he's going to find out about shit well before anyone else is going to find out shit. And he's also the kind of person that, he's basically, in a sense, he's a reporter almost. And that means this shit, reporting on this kind of stuff, it's what he does, and it's what he does well. Yes, Drama Alert's also kind of a reporter, sort of. The difference is Philip DeFranco is more in line with real reporters in that he is relatively objective, whereas Drama Alert tends to be completely not objective at all. But Drama Alert is drama. And this whole BetterHelp thing is drama. So, of course, he wants BetterHelp to keep looking like the bad guys. He wants Philip DeFranco to not get good answers. He wants Philip DeFranco to basically go down. Because that's more drama, more things for him to talk about. Whereas Philip DeFranco just wants to report what is. And I know a lot of people are now saying that, oh, Philip DeFranco's dirty, Philip DeFranco's shady and wrong and shit, and I don't really think that's accurate with this whole situation. Like, yeah, Philip DeFranco should have looked into their terms of services and everything else. Yes, absolutely should have. But honestly, how many of us actually look at fucking terms of services? Like, yeah, sure, it's a little bit more important if you're promoting something, but still. And even with promoting things, how many people who do promote these groups go and look through all of that company's history, their entirety of their terms of services, and every little review of them? Almost no one is going to do that. And anyone who says that they always do that is either very, very picky, has a shit ton of free time on their hands, or they're lying. Just plain and simple. And there's also the simple fact that just because someone that you promoted turns out to be shitty doesn't mean the person doing the promoting is themselves shitty. You can't assume that they know everything about that company unless they are actually, like, running the company. Which is not the case with Phil DeFranco. I know originally a lot of people were like, oh my god, he owns the company. No, it's not the fucking case. It never was the fucking case, and Philip DeFranco's cleared the air on this shit. So, and Drama Alert, like, every time they talk about this, every time I'm looking at him talking about this shit, I'm sitting there like, dude, you are so fucking biased, and you are probably blaringly wrong in this situation. At least when it comes to anything to do with the people promoting it being terrible. And I know he's gotten to talk to, like, Boogie and whatnot, and people are going, oh my god, because Philip DeFranco's company is in all these people's referral links. This is because he does networking and shit for the company a little bit, here and there. He helps them out. It's not because he owns the company. He's not being shady by that being in there. And I know one of the things that some YouTuber talked about, because again, this is something else I saw on Drama Alert. Doped. Is that Philip DeFranco lied when he said he was not getting money from or promoting this company anymore because his name was in other people's referral links. Well, first off with that, I can't say for sure, I don't think that he actually has control over that. I think that's there whether he wants it to be or not. But as far as he is actually concerned, yes, he has actually stopped promoting them. So he's not lying. Unless he can somehow remove that from other people's referral links, which I don't think is possible. He's not being shady at all in that regards. And then there's been a bunch of big videos on why Philip DeFranco's the bad guy in this situation, but I disagree. And this is my 2-bit on fucking YouTube drama right now. And I guess to finish up with that little thing I ended on with my previous recording, which this is getting tacked on to the end of, is that this is bad for YouTube as a whole, especially when you have someone like Philip DeFranco involved and then Drama Alert involved, because both these guys are very, very well known on this platform. Philip DeFranco more so. Philip DeFranco, he's known in a much more respected and respectable way than Drama Alert is. Drama Alert, and especially Keemstar, are not exactly well respected. Everyone knows about them, and a lot of people watch them, but they're not well respected. whereas Philip DeFranco is well-respected. So here we have this well-respected YouTuber involved with promoting, and very, very intimately promoting and helping to promote, this company that is turning out to be questionable at best, really, really shitty at worst, to downright possibly breaking some laws, who knows, because there's the whole fake testimonies possibility. That's never a good thing. So with this reputable person being involved in all this, it will cause people who aren't as active on YouTube and the mainstream media to look at it much more seriously, and hey, look, even the reputable people on YouTube support crappy things. Guess you shouldn't go near YouTube. That's what we're going to see a bit of, if it actually goes mainstream with all this. Currently, it has not gone mainstream. If that changes by the time this video is uploaded, I'm going to be mildly annoyed. But also like, oh shit, now we've got damage. But right now, this is a YouTube-contained problem. So far, I would prefer if it stays YouTube contained, because the main media is not exactly known for being nice to YouTube or YouTubers, because we're destroying their revenue, because everyone's coming here. And that's even more so with Philip DeFranco, because I guarantee you, all those newspapers, probably one of the main people on YouTube they want to get brought down is Philip DeFranco, because he is basically doing their job and doing it way better, with way better views than they are. So he's taking revenue from them, basically. He is their biggest competitor when it comes to YouTube. So they definitely want to see Philip DeFranco burn. So that's part of my problem with Drama Alert kind of falsely calling Philip DeFranco defending and shading and whatnot, because that will help the mainstream basically damage YouTube if the mainstream decides to tackle onto this. Because Philip DeFranco is, again, he is the main thing for them. They want him gone. Because they will make more money if Philip DeFranco were to stop doing what he does. Because he's one of the main news reporters, basically, on here. Particularly, he's the main news reporter on here that tends to be on the side of being objective. And no news reporter is going to be completely objective. Period. Philip DeFranco is not completely objective. And Drama Alert is definitely not completely objective. Drama Alert isn't objective at all, usually. There's very few subjects where Drama Alert is objective. And usually that's just on the more positive stories that he tends to be objective. Whereas Drama Alert, the main media doesn't give a shit if Drama Alert looks bad. Because Drama Alert and Keemstar himself have been dragged through the mud. They are not respected. Like, yes, he's pretty much one of the best, if not the best source for the drama that goes on between YouTubers, all the Jake Pauls and Shane Dawsons and everything else. He's one of the best sources for that, yeah, but it's just YouTube drama. No one is going to go and read a newspaper to try and find out YouTube drama. But Philip DeFranco, he's reporting or commenting on real-world things, politics, natural disasters, big court cases, etc. Their revenue. So they want to see him go down, much more so. Drama Alert, they couldn't give a fuck about. So, yeah. All this is mildly infuriating. And another point I don't think I fully talked about was with me not trusting BetterHelp. Because I'm pretty sure I got interrupted when I was talking about that. Which is why there's a little funny edit, actually, in the video, because I don't normally edit, so you might notice that. It's because I got interrupted. But, yeah, I definitely do not trust the whole BetterHelp thing from the get-go. As soon as I saw it, I didn't trust it. And it's just simply because an online service for therapy is questionable no matter what. No matter what you do, that is questionable as fuck. Unless they can get actual therapists to go on record, reputable therapists who are constantly full of quality clients and whatnot, I would not trust it, and they don't have that. And yeah, the testimony aspect is shady as fuck with the BetterHelp company. It is shady as fuck. Because the testimonies, they do read like they've been scripted. And that's just not... That's not good business practices. You shouldn't script all your reviews and shit. Another thing that got brought up with the whole Philip DeFranco thing is he was going through all the reviews and how it had released positive star ratings. And one of the things that was commented on by another channel was that you could remove negative reviews from the site. I cannot confirm if that is indeed true. If you can remove negative reviews from any site, honestly, it's stupid and shitty, and you should not be able to remove negative reviews no matter what. Whether you pay to have those reviews removed or not, you should not be able to do that. And if it is possible to do that, and that affects the star rating, then absolutely that particular place is not a reliable source for how good this app is. But at the same time, you can't blame someone for going on Google and looking up the star reviews for everything and just seeing a bunch of positive reviews and going, okay, this thing is reviewed positively. Because people are going to assume that that is an accurate reflection of all the reviews they've got. And it makes sense to do that. Especially when you're dealing with people who don't have all the time in the world to go and research every single one of these reviews and places that collect reviews to make sure they collect all the reviews. People don't have that kind of time on their hands usually. And I'm sure Philip DeFranco doesn't. So, yeah, extra 14 minutes. Okay.